YouTube. First of all, I want to give a big thanks to the person who showed me how to use my webcam. Thank you, I'm all excited. Okay, this video goes to ApologeticsMan. As part of our continued discussion, this is on your discussion on Daniel chapter 7. Okay, a couple of quick points I wanted to make to you. First, I want to point out that the reason that more Jewish people aren't responding is that most Jews simply have not studied the book of Daniel. It's not even in the Jewish Bible. It's not even listed with the prophets. It's listed in writings with Psalms and Proverbs and all that. And a lot of Jewish people just have never studied it. I have, because I studied the Bible very extensively before deciding to convert to Judaism from Christianity. Leaving Christianity was a very big thing for me, very traumatic, and I wanted to make sure that this was the truth before I decided to leave. Okay, so I took your verse and I took a look at it. As I looked on in the night vision, one like a human being came, or one like the Son of Man, like you like to translate it, came with the clouds of heaven, and he reached the Ancient of Days, and was presented to him. Dominion, glory, and kingship were given to him. All peoples and nations of every language must serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that shall not pass away, and his kingship one that shall not be destroyed. We'll agree that it's talking about the Messiah. Okay. So that's as far as we agree. Now, that there's a problem with that. Okay. No, I'm not going to start an argument with you about everything else, but okay, so when it talks about dominion, glory, and kingship were given to him, you said that this means that he must be God because God's glory will not be given to another. You took two entirely unrelated topics and you tried to merge them together to make a entirely unsound argument. Okay, so the argument is sound in as much as if those statements were both true and they were true of each other, then yes, your statement would be valid, but okay. But looking at one of the things I want to thank you for is that you realize that you can only make a statement from books that people already accept, and you don't expect me to believe your point when you make a point out of the New Testament. I'm going to use the books that you accept to make my point to you. This doesn't mean, I'm going to quote the New Testament right now, this doesn't mean that I accept the New Testament suddenly, boo-hoo, for you, but that because you accept it, I'm going to make your point I'm going to prove a point to you from it. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40. There are celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another of the moon, and another of the stars, for each star differeth from another star in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead. Sown in corruption, is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, is raised a spiritual body. There's a natural body and there's a spiritual body. Okay. So, what does this say that I want to use? That there are different levels of glory. There is a celestial glory and a terrestrial glory. There's the glory that we give to basketball players. There's the glory we give to baseball players. I don't like sports at all, so I don't give any glory to them. I'm wearing a Barack Obama shirt. Do I like Barack Obama? No, I do not. I don't support him. And I'm wearing a Barack Obama shirt. I am not glorifying him. Just because somebody happens to do something that deserves respect. For example, winning the presidency. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's taking God's glory. It's only facetiously that you'll hear people calling Obama the Messiah. He although he did something great, winning the presidency, and I really do applaud him for being the first black president, and I think it's a great thing that America was able to get at least that far past its prejudices and everything. I really do applaud him for that. What was I saying? But yeah, just because he gets some glory doesn't mean that he has taken God's place in our eyes or anything like that. Chas v'shalom. Okay, so this Holy One, he received glory, and that doesn't necessarily, though, mean that he's received God's glory. Okay. Reading the verse. I found a couple different translations on it. I sent it to a rabbi for translation, and he translates it as, and the kingdom and rulership and greatness of the kingdoms of under heaven shall be given to the people, comma, the holy ones of the supernal, and their dominion. Okay, this is verse 27, moving on to verse 27. And their dominion is an everlasting dominion, and all dominions shall serve and obey them. I found a translation that tried to stick entirely to the literal text. And on verse 27, by the way, I'm sure you've read the passage, ApologeticsMan, but I wanted to explain anyways. With most of Daniel, his prophecies are just so hard to understand that usually he has an angel come and explain this passage, this vision or this revelation to him. And so in the explanation of this vision, the vision of the Holy One who approached the throne of God, in the explanation of the verse comes in verse 27. The kingship and dominion and grandeur belonging to all the kingdoms of under heaven shall be given to the people, comma, the holy ones of the Most High. Their kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him, is how another translator translated it. Their kingdom shall be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So it keeps switching back and forth between the people of God and the Messiah, the Holy One of God. Or the one that God has selected to be king. The throne of David is eternal, and the kingship of the throne of David is eternal. God made everlasting promises to David. I don't think you're going to try to deny that. Although this kingdom will be reestablished, obviously we do not have a king right now. The kingship, in my eyes, is going to be rebuilt by one man, who will be Ben David, the son of David. But the way I read the scriptures, that doesn't necessarily mean that he will be eternal. His throne will be eternal in the same sense as David's. His offspring will continue to have a throne forever. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that the man himself will be eternal, although aging, as we know it, will cease. And because it says, the days of my people shall be like the days of a tree, and so on. And also, one of the very important things to keep in mind about this time is that there will be no more sin, and there will be no more evil inclination. The knowledge of God will abound over the world, like the waters cover the sea. And one of the passages I like the most is that there shall no more man teach his brother his neighbor, saying, Know the Lord. For all of them, for the least of them to the greatest shall know me, declares the Lord. And one of my other favorite passages is that the Lord will be a king over all the earth, and in that day will God be one, and his name one. May we merit to see that day speedily and in our days.